Hey, what's happening all? Hurts here, Wyatt Hurts, back with my very first, not back, but just, this is the very first installment, the very first multiplayer match with some Battlefield 4 action that I'm going to get up here on the channel. There's going to be a lot of this that's going to come over the next year, or however long I end up playing this game. It's going to be a while, though. I'm going to be here for a while with this stuff, so hopefully you guys will enjoy it and check it out. I'm sure some of you checked out that montage I threw together. That was really just a little promo. You know, it was meant to be exciting and fast-paced. It had the kind of that epic theme music playing in the background that makes everything a little bit better. So I don't want guys to get the wrong impression about this game. You know, after capturing some videos, there's a lot of downtime in some of these videos. It's not that kind of that balls to the wall, constant, fast-paced action. There's a little more thought that goes into it. There are moments of downtime, and for me in particular, there's a lot of dying that happens at times, okay? So hopefully y'all bear with me. Now, this was a nice little play here in the Little Bird. I saw the enemy heli in the distance. Figured I'd just dip down behind the resort, let him close in. It was just perfect timing that somebody had been trying to get a missile lock on him from the ground. He ended up popping those flares, and it made both my heat seekers that much dead. You know, made both my heat seekers, gave them the opportunity to both strike and ground that bird. And then I just come in for a nice low hover here on C after capping A little bit earlier. Now, for you guys that have been following me through the home front, you know that I did love to fly the scout helicopter in that game, and the Little Bird is really the equivalent in Battlefield 4, and that's why we're starting here at the resort, at the Hainan resort, and why this video in particular made it up on the channel first, because I wanted to start with the Little Bird. You know, it's kind of what I'm known for on home front, and it's what I'm hoping to be known for here. You know, that and doing a little healing out there on the battlefield. I do love playing the medic role. Really, so far it's been medic for the most part for me. I think it's the assault class, and a little bit of the engineer class, you know. But I'll get into it all over the course of all these months. And going back to what I said, you know, for me there is a lot of dying. You know, it's tough finding some good rounds to get up here right now, just because I haven't spent enough time with this series. You know, I came in at this series really at Battlefield 3 in the summertime, and that just kind of transitioned into Battlefield 4. So I'm still trying to get a good feel for the mechanics, everything that's at play. I find this shooter quite difficult when stacked up against other ones. And just because there's a lot to take into account, there's a lot of little nuances to pick up on, how the guns fire, what is a counter to what. You know, there's just so much out there, and of course, all the different game modes. It's not just the different game modes that will give you different experiences, but if you're playing in a 32-man server compared to a 64-man server, that's like playing in a completely different game as well. You know, I will get some 64-man server content up here in time. I'm still just trying to acclimate myself to it. You know, I find myself just not showing enough patience or running the wrong lanes, and just dying so often there, just because there are so many people out there on the battlefield. I feel like I'm always getting sniped or shot in the back or flanked. I put down one guy just to die a second later. You know, it's tough for me at this stage. Like I said, I just haven't spent enough time with the series. I'm not, you know, for me, I never claim to be the greatest at any game, and certainly when I first pick up a game, I have to work hard to become good, you know, just to become competitive at some of these games. So, hopefully, like I said, you guys will stick around for the experience, watch me evolve over the months as a gamer here in Battlefield. So, you heard somebody call in for a ride. I don't think it was even directed at me, but I come in for a landing anyway, just to see this little radar, this blip on radar in behind me. I try to come in for the kill. Trying to get the right angle on him. Now, this bird in particular, I have customized it a little bit beyond that kind of the default loadout that you start with. I have spent a little time in these little birds so far, so I do have a few things unlocked. Rather than the flares, I am rolling the fire extinguisher. What the fire extinguisher does is that if I get a critical hit that sends me all sideways, like perhaps you saw at the end of my montage video there, I can collect that fire extinguisher. It will put the fire out, restore the systems, straighten me out, and I'm good to go. And if I'm in the red, you know, it will take me back up to, like, I don't know, 35% health, you know, and hopefully I can fly away and save my ass. But I don't have the flares, you know. And the reason I went with the extinguisher at this point, with this game in particular, I'm going to get into that here in a second. You see me squaring off with this enemy bird here. And, of course, look at this crap. You know what? It took me a few replays of this video to figure out what actually went down. I wasn't sure when I was actually playing it, and I wasn't sure even after just one watch of this, but what happened, you saw my friendly, that friendly jet circling the skies, that with that great sound it has to it, you know, like that screaming banshee, but it's a really realistic sound, you know, for the type of plane he's flying. He was in my blind spot. He was probably moving at a high rate of speed. Nothing he could do, nothing I could do, and it was just a mid-air collision. So we scrapped one another, and here I am coming back into the battle at sea, where they're now trying to cap this objective, and goddamn, so I'm back right there at this kind of the scene of the accident. So it was like I never even died. It was like I parachuted to safety, and I'm rolling an engineer class at this point. I think it's the MX4. It's a little personal defense weapon. Now right here you can see there's still a couple more guys running the beach, the sandy shores here. I jumped down. I had whittled him down just enough where it was going to be a nice easy kill on him, but I start taking some fire from the water or across the way. I do manage to get down on my belly, do a little crawling while I'm reloading, and manage to line up the shot, hold off the assault on sea, and manage to begin to recap this objective, you know. So going back to the little bird, that fire extinguisher, and the list right here. Look at this guy. Who, just a terrible play by him. I don't know why he has a flashlight on his sniper rifle at that range. It's completely given his position away. Had he not had the flashlight on there, I probably wouldn't have been playing this corner so hard, you know. I would have stepped out a little bit, scoped out the area. He probably would have gotten a nice headshot on me had he not had that flashlight on his rifle. His fault though, his fault. Now the kind of this is like the LAW, the law. I don't know. It won't have a missile lock. It doesn't have a lock or a track on air vehicles. But I would imagine if I hit the goddamn thing, it would send the thing swirly with a critical hit. You know, kill its mobility. But I could be completely wrong on that. Don't quote me on it because I haven't done it yet. And I don't know. I don't know for sure. But I would imagine it would have like that RPG effect on the sucker, you know. Anyway, I hop in the boat really wisely, just kind of venture beyond the objective a little bit and crank it around and play a major role in grounding that bird. And you can see there's a survivor. The pilot is up there on the rock, and I put some fire into him, not enough to finish him off before I start taking some sniper fire of my own, is what it felt like, or something. I don't know what it was, but wisely I ground the boat on the beach and hop out, and with some nice pistol fire here finish off that guy that was giving me a hard time. So let's go back to the bird and talking about what I would have been trying to get to. The flares. The flares in Battlefield 4 compared to Battlefield 3 take 25 seconds to recharge. You know, they're almost... It almost makes them, you know, ineffective. You get that one use, but if you're in a heated battle, you're not gonna get that second opportunity to pull them. You know, probably about 60% of the time. It may cause you death, you know, during that battle is what I'm trying to say. Maybe you come out on top, maybe you fall, but you're only going to really get one pull per battle, you know. Like I said, 60 to 70% of the time. Some of those extended air battles, you know, you may get a second pull. It may come into play. But I thought, you know, I'll give the extinguisher a try. And you can see I'm eager to get back into that bird. I don't want anybody hopping into it. I have a nice little run here to finish things off. Now, the other equipment that I have on the bird, I have stealth coating, which makes it a little bit harder for guys with the stingers and the heat seekers. Anything that can acquire a lock, it takes a little bit longer for them to actually lock me. And you can hear those aren't the standard guns. You know, the standard are like the 7.62 mini guns. They have a high rate of fire but low damage, you know, per round. I have the 25 millimeter cannons on this sucker now, and this is where I like to operate. This is how I like to operate. It has much higher damage per round that hits, and so I can get in there, do what I'm looking to do, get those few shots get a few shots in on the target, put them down, and move on. You know, so I like the 25 millimeter cannons. I wish they had a few more rounds in those bursts. You know, they fired just a few more rounds longer, but I'm quite pleased with how this bird is running right now. And right there, getting those dishing off both of my heat seekers, dishing off my entire payload there. I thought it was an enemy bird in the distance, and then I saw him closing in, you know, and it turned out to be an enemy jet. And you saw him destroyed in the distance, so you know it worked out. He took a good bite out of my hide, though, good bite out of my armor, forced me to land and bring in the repairs. He had me all the way down to 16% armor, so you know, I get the repairs, and you can see Latex Fingers here is sitting. Well, he's sitting on the right side of the bird here. with me. He's gonna ride out the rest of this round sitting here, and I'm gonna try and put him to use. You know, you can hear him actually firing up, and it was that kind of prompted me to, you know what, I'm gonna give him a shot to actually pull in a kill here from this bird, and I'll try and stabilize things, and we'll put him to use here a little bit later on. I'll at least let him get one kill out of it. You know, it's a shame the round ended so quickly, so abruptly, that it wasn't a bit more of a closer battle out there. But really doing a great job here, cleaning up these scragglers that had beached their boat and tried to, tried to make a little charge there on the resort. And that resort building, for anybody wondering, there is levolution events that can be triggered on both the wings. Both the wings of that resort can be taken down, whereas the central structure will remain standing. Now right here it is. I've grounded the bird with a little help from another teammate out there, and Latex here trying to get some shots off, and I figured, you know what, let's give it to him. So into a nice stable hover, even do the kind of the outer view to keep an eye on things, and there it is. Let him get the kill. Hopefully he appreciated that. There aren't a lot of pilots that will do that, you know, for their teammates, especially in the Little Bird, and especially when they don't know the guy. You know, maybe for their friends or squad mates that they play together, they play with often enough. But I didn't have a clue who the guy was. But that's what I like to do. It's those moments that are more enjoyable than me just going in for another kill with the birds, you know, because it's a little bit more rare. You don't see it too often. And there it is. So really a dominating victory there, 340 in tickets. This was Conquest, by the way, in case you're unfamiliar with the game. Basically what Conquest is there are several objectives out there, or PowerPoints that you need to kind of hold. When you're holding them, if you hold the majority of them, the other team will bleed away tickets, which are simply lives, okay? So it's almost a mix. It becomes a mix of team deathmatch and Conquest or domination, in which you're basically trying to get the other team down to 0. With each kill, they lose a life. And the more objectives, when you're holding the majority of objectives, they are bleeding tickets away as well, you know. If you hold 2 of 3, they'll bleed at a slower rate than they will if you hold all 3 objectives. And of course, there are variations on Conquest. There's Conquest, and then there is also Conquest Large, where there are several more objectives out there that need to be held. So anyway, guys, a pretty solid round there for me. A short one, 11-2, sitting third on the team. I was quite pleased with that. Some nice Little Bird action out there. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you'll enjoy the content to come from Battlefield 4. It won't just be Battlefield 4 for the guys that maybe don't like the slower pace, the kind of those moments of downtime that Battlefield 4 provides. Call of Duty Ghosts will be coming to the channel soon enough as well. I've already got the game, just a matter of getting some footage, commentating on it, and getting it up here. And of course, the Splinter Cell Blacklist Spies vs. Mercs action will continue in some capacity up here. So hopefully there'll be a little something for everyone out there, you know, depending on the tastes, your personal tastes. You'll find something here at Wyatt Hurts Games that you'll enjoy. So anyway, guys, until next time, well, first, thanks for watching, but until next time, remember Wyatt Hurts. Later.